Hey, Shannon.
Hey! How you doing, Jess?
I'm doing great. How are you?
Oh, so good. So excited to hang out for this episode of
And talk about
Do the Roses of Mine.
whatever.
Yeah, literally anything because it's off season and it doesn't matter. And not a lot
This
is
is, yeah, it's
happening.
like the intro to Whose Line Is It Anyway? Where it's like, the rules are made up and the
Points
points
don't
don't
matter.
fucking matter.
That's an iconic show. It's on HBO Max.
I know. I've been watching
It's
it
so fun.
recently.
Yeah, exactly. But anyway, good times to talk about
Anyway.
whatever. I feel like every chef person, or at least someone who cooks a fuckload, even if you're not a professional chef, but if you like cook all the time, I feel like everyone still has their one thing they just can't always get right. And for me, it's always been a burger. Like, I can never make a burger at home that tastes right, like what I need it to, like the burgers that I would want to eat outside of my home. And I'm not even talking like a shitty fast food burger. I'm talking like a good burger. But I'm just like, I never get it right. And I have a cast iron. It's not that. I am all set on my tools. But it's for me, it's burgers and pancakes. Not great on
What kind
pancakes
of,
either.
I'm not great on pancakes. That is something that I am also not good at.
Waffles. It's the
I can
same
never
thing, but
seem to get them
better.
right. I don't know what it is. But
It's an
I
art.
can't make pancakes to save my life.
Pancakes might as well be a pastry, just pastry. Like,
Well, here's what pisses me off is because I remember being in culinary school and we had to do like a creme anglaise, and like they teach you that like once it curdles, you don't want it to curdle. Like you have a very 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 small window between it being underdone and then far too done because it curdles. I remember being one of the only people in my culinary school class who made a creme anglaise without it curdling and without having to strain it.
yes,
So
bitch.
like I can be technically proficient when I cook. That was like a big indicator for me that I
Yeah,
know, you know what I mean?
no
Like I
doubt.
can pay attention to detail. I can't make a fucking pancake.
No, I don't know, Jess. I don't know what it is about them. And I'm so glad that we can bond over this because sometimes I've said it to other chef friends. Again, we all have our thing. And they'll be like, how do you mean you can't make a pancake? And I'm just like, I don't know. I can't. It's the same reason why I almost always kind of burn my grilled cheese, but not always. Because it is that perfect level of like, the amount of fat that you have that's not burning, it's not too hot, it's not like too low because you don't want things to absorb fat. But pancakes, it's like if you got to
Well,
pour it perfectly and like properly. And I remember my mom always trying to teach me, being like, yeah, you just wait for the bubbles to pop up and then flip and it's perfect. And I'm like, every time I would do that, it would be too dark. And then I'm like, okay, but I'm gonna put it down, and then it'd be too light. Oh my god.
so the issue that I have, and I don't know if it's like the pancake recipe that I use, but that doesn't make sense because it happens to me pretty much every time I make pancakes. I try to pour it thin, and then I see the bubbles, you know what I mean? So I flip
Yeah,
it, and then I let it cook, and then somehow it's always underdone in the
still
middle.
raw. God, yeah.
And I
And
get it to be like
that's
the perfect brown, and you think that it's going to be done, and then I cut into it, and I'm like, why the fuck is this still wet in the middle? I don't know what it is. I used to be this way about rice too. Now I'm okay with rice, but I used to never get rice right. It used to always be under or overdone. I don't know what it was. And I even did that stupid knuckle trick. Like, I don't fucking know.
oh my god, I know. I am okay at rice. I mean, I kind of do overdo rice a lot, but sometimes it depends. Not
I'm
that
good at it
perfect
now. And I
rice.
think
It
that
depends
honestly, it's
also
a
on
fucking
what
fluke.
type of brand of rice you use. Because,
That's true.
and also not only the brands, but also the shape. Like, is it basmati? Is it jasmine? Is it short? Is it long? Is it sushi? Oh my god, it's like too many options.
Wait, okay.
Okay.
So do you use Reddit for anything?
I have Reddit on my phone, then I used to go
Okay.
there, but not really. No, honestly, no.
So have you ever seen the subreddit Am I the Asshole?
Oh yeah. Okay, I've seen that one
Okay.
because I've seen those pulled from
Love that.
on Twitter, pulled from Reddit all the time.
Love
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
One of my favorite. I don't look at it now because there are some things that genuinely upset me because like you know me what now well enough, especially given like what we talk about on this podcast, to know that like it frustrates me when people can't see like the obvious logic. Like
Yeah.
if you lay it out, like there are some that people are like when they're obviously the asshole, and some people are like, no, you're not the asshole because this, and I'm like, no, like you are actually wrong. Like I know this is an opinion piece, like this is a matter of opinion, but like your opinion is so incorrect. This person is undeniably the asshole,
Yes.
and I don't know how you can. Anyway, so I have taken a step back and I don't look at it as often.
Because you're
But
like, it
one
just
of
makes
my
me angry.
It does just make me angry. But one of my favorite ones that I've ever read, and you're going to appreciate this, some woman said, am I the asshole for helping my helping my boyfriend organize the kitchen, or like wanting my kitchen to be organized or something like that, right? Like that was her title. And you think about it and like you read it from the title and you're like, no, of course not. Like organizing the kitchen, like that's not an asshole move. You want your house to be clean. Like that's great. Until you read the body of the article, and this
No. Oh God, what's gonna happen?
respectfully, I call her this respectfully, but this stupid bitch turns around, Shannon. She turns around and says, she's like, my boyfriend has like 8 different bags of rice and they take up so much space. And I told him that I wanted to condense the rice. And
I
she
have
literally poured like,
seen this.
you know what I'm talking about?
So
And
I
she
put
poured like
all the
her
rice.
minute rice, and she kept like trying to defend herself, like, but they're all white rice. And then everyone in the comments is like, there's not only white and brown rice. There is like different, there's like you said, like basmati,
Long,
like there's
medium,
jasmine rice,
short.
long grain, short grain. There's all of these different types of rice. And people are trying to comment and tell her, like, you have now effectively ruined all of this rice.
Yeah.
Because I can't take a scoop out. If you've got like minute rice and then long grain rice in the like intermixed in the same
in
container,
a sushi rice, right? You've got that's like
you're never gonna have a good
4
product.
different textures of rice. With
Exactly. You've ruined all of it.
Wow.
All of it. And she genuinely thought you saw the post.
Yeah, I
She
definitely
genuinely
saw.
thought that she was like, I was just helping him be more organized and I don't know why he's so mad at me. And it's like, we're telling you what, not we, because I don't comment on them, but like
these
people are like, we are telling you why this was wrong. And you're just not, you're choosing not to grasp the concept that people are laying out for you, that you have now ruined all of his rights.
You were literally all this woman on
so
Reddit.
I don't know.
All this woman on Reddit had to do was look at the back, like you said, of the cooking instructions, and they would almost all of them would be different.
She just no, and what's sad is like she didn't even need to do that.
Long grain rice, you know.
All she had to do was ask her boyfriend and listen to her boyfriend when he said, "No, please do not combine all of my rices, please." Please.
I know that you think this is organized, but I'm actually this is also okay. We're gonna this astrology podcast, I'm gonna finally mention astrology. This is literally what happens when a Mercury person is with a Venus or a Saturn person or another Mercurial, honestly, because I understand this organized chaos man with his bags of rice. I mean, really, we all know he's just a chef, but also all the best chefs are Mercurial. Because
am I Mercurial?
Yes, you are. Because we are ruled by Mercury. Mercury rules all of the things that you can do with your hands, pretty much. And so, I mean, Jupiter is also good for cooking. And Moon too, Cancer Moon. I mean, Cancer placements are the peak chefs because everybody.
Well, I'm a big hospitality person.
Yes,
I love to cook, but I love to cook because I love to provide food for people.
Yeah, and that's literally your Cancer and Leo, because Cancer is like the mom sign, right? And Taurus tends to be the sign that gets like all of the food stereotypes with astrology, but Taurus is usually, I mean, Tauruses can like there are some Taurus chefs out there. No, I'm not gonna say her name. She's not a chef, but I am thinking of Taurus people.
I don't.
Anyway,
no.
But that being said, most Taurus people excel at eating more than cooking because they want to enjoy the food because they're Venus ruled. But enjoying the food does not usually mean cooking the food.
I want you to read my cousin's chart so badly. So my cousin is a Taurus. Her birthday's actually tomorrow.
Oh wow. Happy birthday to her.
Or today for the day that this is released. But when we were growing up, she was the pickiest eater. She's much better now.
You literally,
but like
Taurus classic.
Is it really?
Oh my god, yeah. Okay. So so here we go. I'm gonna break it down. So the Taurus stereotype about food tends to be a very broad spectrum for Taurus. There are some Tauruses. So also it literally depends on how you grow up. Nature versus nurture, right? So millions of Tauruses out there in the world. But
Right.
there are Tauruses who grow up with money and with parents who have lots of like high tastes, or people like
Like that fucking TikTok that you sent me about the only child and the parents being like,
yes,
so I mean, like, we have caviar, so
literally, do you want some?
do you think that you could eat that?
Literally, exactly. Also, a great example of this type of Taurus is Kit Keenan. Because
Okay.
and I know that she is annoying when she posts her own little food, but she seems to enjoy good food, like when she's eating that, not food that she cooks, right? I mean, and she's lived in the West Village, so I'm just like, she's
She's been
been
around because that's
all over
I will listen. I might be a little biased, but
West
I
Village.
personally think that the West Village is the best food
Speak it.
neighborhood
Speak it.
on the island of Manhattan.
I will say,
I'm just gonna
yes, yeah.
say.
I will say there's definitely some good eats in the East Village also, but I will say the good eats in the East Village are the cheap food, like
I'm
going
thinking like
drunk food, but the West Village has the broad spectrum and also
I'm
good
thinking
ass
like
food. Just
creative,
yes,
unique,
yes.
and thoughtful, like per block.
Yep,
The
agreed.
West Village has more.
So that being said, Kit Keenan, that kind of Taurus. But then there are the
Yeah.
Taurus people who don't grow up like that, grow up maybe more middle class, and have access to food enough to where they can have a choice, but not like so the picky eater Tauruses, honestly. So because Taurus wants to be so the reason Taurus gets food, they want to be comfortable. All of everybody who sends their food back bitchy about some dumb thing on their plate to the chef has Taurus in their chart. It's like I believe this to be true. If you feel dragged listening to this,
Check your chart.
seriously, yeah. So Taurus, the picky eater Taurus is usually because they again are so adamant about something, be it they are adamant that no one makes food better than this person. No, this is the only type of this one thing I like, because Taurus likes their things and they like their things to be right. Like, and right is arbitrary, right? But it is, they want their things to be just right. I mean, oh my god, literally Goldilocks. Just right. That's what Taurus needs. They will just be like, this too much, this too much, that is too much. And you're like, what the fuck? And it's very frustrating because literally, yes, you could be given something that is quote unquote barbecue sauce and then be like, this isn't, that's not that because I don't like that. Okay, well, you may not have liked whatever brand of barbecue sauce you tried. Whoever made that barbecue sauce you didn't like. There are a million fucking ways to make barbecue sauce. There are literally multiple regions of barbecue that create different sauces.
I maintain. I say all the time, and I say this a lot to my
White
mom
barbecue
because my
sauce,
mom is
vinegar based, we've got sweet, we've got spicy. I mean, shit. Like,
yeah, no. I know exactly. So my mom is not a picky eater, but my mom adamantly does not like certain things. Like my mom does not like
and
the
that's,
texture of onions. My mom doesn't like no, I know.
yeah.
So
Texture
she'll
people
eat
are
a lot of
different.
things and like I'll hide. And my dad's the same. Like my dad doesn't like cauliflower, but like if I turn cauliflower into a pasta sauce, like he'll eat that shit. And it was around, I think that was actually the instance in which I said and have maintained my mantra with food in general is like, it's not that you don't like something, you've just never had it prepared in a way that you like yet.
Literally, yes. Because,
And that's how I feel about it.
and
Except for me, like peanut butter. Like I very rarely will enjoy something that's got peanut butter in it.
I
Like very,
actually do
very rarely
agree.
because
I
I
don't
don't
even
like
like a
peanut butter.
oh see, I like peanut butter, but for me, I don't like peanut sauces that much. The only thing I like is peanut hoisin as a dip for like a egg roll. But as far
See,
as
I
like a
like
pad thai,
peanut sauce when it's spicy.
yeah,
And
yeah,
the spice kind
spicy.
of covers the like peanut flavor,
Because
but like peanut butter, I do not eat peanut butter.
wow, yeah,
Don't
I
eat
didn't
it.
eat it for the longest time, but anyway, but yeah. That
So
being said,
gross.
I texture people. I I hurt their feelings usually whenever they tell me something about
Hmm.
texture because I immediately respond with food can be almost any texture. Like I don't. I don't
Literally,
know.
though.
Like, I'm sorry. And this is someone,
If I
this
can
is
make crispy chickpeas, then
literally, yes. This is coming from someone who has constantly been saying my whole life, and I don't believe this anymore, but I had said this for a long time. I don't like mushrooms because I don't like the texture. I would say that all the time because poorly cooked mushrooms, and hey, raw mushrooms. Remember good old late 90s, early 2000s salad bars, and they would have those raw ass sliced mushrooms sitting there? That shit is disgusting to me. That texture, a raw see again, I can point. The texture of a raw mushroom, not great. The texture of a portobello mushroom burger, I don't like that. But the
fuck that. That was that was what I was thinking of. I literally was
portobello
like, I
mushroom on a burger,
cannot.
hell no.
People that eat portobello mushroom burgers freak me
Bravo.
out because I don't understand like
No.
biting into
No.
that and enjoying the texture of it. I
Exactly.
don't get people that can eat portobello caps like that.
Exactly.
I
So
think they're psychotic.
I can point to those things back to I have a specific be like, I don't want that specific way of mushroom, that specific way, and that specific way. But I have also eaten mushrooms that I never thought I would like because they were fucking amazing. They were cooked perfectly. They were on a dish that I didn't know. I was at a fancy restaurant and they were there. Like I didn't avoid, or they were beautifully sourced because mushrooms that are, wow, shocking, grown better, don't taste like dirt.
What?
Gasp.
What?
Yeah, once I got my hand on some farmers market, hen of the woods, and oyster, I was like, I'm sorry,
So
they make mushrooms
I'm
like this and they've been hiding this from me.
that's it. So
Oyster
I
mushrooms, mwah.
when I was in culinary school, I genuinely and honest to God thought that like at some point in my life I developed a mushroom allergy. Like I had multiple bad reactions to mushrooms and like just didn't touch them for a really long time. And then I worked at Babo and I was scared to tell the people at Babo that I was afraid that I was allergic to mushrooms. Like I was afraid to tell them that. And there was a mushroom dish on my station and there was one day that I like tried a mushroom, like a littlest tiniest piece of a mushroom like out of the corner of a pan because like you have to taste your food,
Yeah, of
it's part of
course.
the fucking job. And I was afraid to tell them that I thought I was gonna have a bad reaction. So like which looking back on it is stupid. That is so dumb. If I really thought I was like that allergic to mushrooms,
You
I
don't
should have been like,
have
I
to take.
can't
You
try
have
this
someone
shit.
else to take it,
Yeah,
right?
that
Plenty
was
of-
stupid and like a very good example of like unhealthy work culture. Like that's a whole thing.
chef
That's a whole separate
struggles.
thing. But it was crispy. They were my Takis that had been sauteed to shit, so they were like super super crispy. And I tried it, and I remember being like, "Oh,
Holy shit! Yeah, crispy mushroom
oh."
is a next
Crispy
level
mushroom is really
moment.
the only way that I'll eat it. Like I don't like the texture of mushrooms. They make me very uncomfortable, especially because like I know in my mind that I'm eating a fungus, even though so it's just like the
It
whole
is
mental
hard to
gymnastics.
get past eating a fungus for sure.
Well, it's like when you think about it, because
Yeah, if you think
when I
too
was out in
hard, for sure.
Colorado, well, it's like when I was out in Colorado, I brought up to Jared like, do you ever eat eggs and then realize like what you're eating while you're eating eggs?
Wow,
Has that ever happened to you?
not really,
Okay, well, I hope it doesn't
because
moving forward, but there have been
I
times when I've like eaten an egg and I've been like, I'm eating
what could have been
an
baby
embryo.
chicken. Yeah,
I'm literally eating an embryo right now. I have cooked this and or like half of an embryo, whatever, like an
I have
unfertilized, I don't know.
beaten it up with the stuff that it was the embryo. Literally egg white. Oh, you mean the thing, the stuff that the embryo is sitting in?
No, exactly. And that's what I mean. So, and then especially if like you get one and like, let's say you have like an egg over easy. So it's like kind of flimsy, like not necessarily
Yeah,
rubbery, but like rubbery compared to other foods. And
rubbery
then like,
edges, but nice center.
right, right. And then like
Funny.
because I love
Love eggs.
fried eggs.
Same. I
I love
love
fried
eggs.
eggs. And when I'm at one of my biggest guilty pleasures, like one of my comfort foods, like quick snack that I will always go back to is fried rice. I make fried rice many times a week. Like it is my staple because it's quick and it's good and whatever. But I always put so much egg because that's what I fucking like. Like I like egg
Yeah.
in my fried rice.
Protein.
And I remember sitting there and there was one day that I was eating fried rice for breakfast because I do that sometimes. And I
Totally.
put a piece of egg in my mouth and like, or no, I picked up a spoonful and there was a piece of egg on the spoon that was literally just like flopping like this. And I looked at it and I was like, oh my God.
Ooh.
Oh my God. And it's fine. I ate it. But like I sat there and I had the thought that I was like, oh, this is what I'm eating right now. And it like really turned me off for a minute.
Yeah, I don't know if I've ever had that moment with eggs, but I do have that moment sometimes when I'm like, honestly, more with chicken, like with things that I'm cooking that are still on a bone. When I'm like, so every once in a while, and usually not with beef, it's always like chicken related. For instance, actually, you know what it is? It's when you bake. So you know how if you bake, or like, so I'll like braise chicken or something and like chicken legs, and you put them in the oven and you
Mm-hmm.
pull them out. And sometimes the chicken, so the drumstick, the thin part where the literal leg is, the skin will just split, the meat will split, and it kind of like lollipops on its own. And I'll pull it out from the oven and I'll just see that and just be like, that's a leg. Like,
Well, I think that all
that
the
is
time
a
when I
leg. Wow, this
see
is also such a funny conversation in respect to the vegan one earlier.
yeah, well, this
That's a
is
leg.
surprise. This is the episode today.
I know. Yeah, really though. We were literally sitting here like, okay, cool. We'll think about ourselves and whatever. And I was sitting here like, maybe I'll just like
This is
talk about
technically talking
Jess's
about
channel.
our food. This is
Yes,
about ourselves.
but it's also funny because I love how anytime we're like, what should we talk about when it's not bachelor or less bachelor related than usual? Food, more food, always food.
Always food. Well, because we could talk about The Sims. I sat down to dinner with my parents. I went out to dinner with my parents recently.
Only
And
child.
I talked to my parents. Yeah. I talked to my parents about The Sims for basically the entire dinner. And I was trying to explain to them. No, like legitimately. It was really funny, but like it was one of those things where I love The Sims. Like that's my decompression.
Honestly, it's the best.
And I don't play it as often anymore, but like because I'm busy now. But
Well, The Sims is naturally one of those games where you'll like get really hyper fixated on it, and then you just kind of like don't for
you burn
a
yourself
long
out
time,
because
and then you come back.
There's only so much you can do with it.
But then you always come back whenever some expansion is released, and you're like, "Oh shit, I want to play that." And then you're like, "I will always come back. I'll get that expansion, and then I'll be like, I'm gonna drop a little bit of money on this one, the ones that I've missed."
We played the Star Wars one. That's the one that we played.
I'm sorry, what? Wow, is this about to be
what?
Is this about to be where I like
Journey
get back
Journey to Batu? It's for Sims 4 though.
Yeah, I still have Sims 4.
Okay, yeah, Journey to Batu.
Wow.
You can literally be a member of the Resistance or the First Order, or you can be like a scoundrel and like you do missions and stuff. Like Kylo Ren is a character in The Sims. Like you can like be friends with him and shit. Like there's stormtroopers that patrol. It's fucking sick. And yeah, it's great. It's great.
I am Googling this shit immediately.
Do it right now. We are so far off topic anyway. I don't even give a shit. Like, let's talk about The Sims now.
No, I want to, exactly. I'm like, let's talk about The Sims.
Well, so what I was telling, the reason I got like so into the conversation is because I was like explaining to my dad about like the different interactions, and like it's obviously not like real life, but it's like your Sims get embarrassed. You can literally die from embarrassment. Like
which is so
your Sim will,
funny.
like there's like stuff that you wouldn't expect to be available in a video game, but like if you have a cheap toilet, the toilet breaks. Like things that make too much sense. Yeah. Are you looking at it right now?
Yeah, I was about to open the YouTube video and I didn't want it to get really loud all of a sudden.
Do it.
Dag.
Whoa, not cool. You'll never make it friends that way.
I am.
Days ago, in a neighborhood not too
Why is this English?
Cora dreamt of something bigger than the world she knew.
Are you kidding me?
A mysterious caller promised the adventure of a lifetime. And in an instant, Cora was swept to Black Spire Outpost on Batu.
What the fuck?
Cora was in shock.
And they have like they changed the Sims. They have like the woman that's got like the two kind of like tentacle things from her head.
Yeah,
like exists in this game.
This is.
I like that. It says I'm cool, but not trying to be hard. Anyway,
It's so jarring hearing like a narration.
Oh
yeah, there she. Are you fucking kidding me? This is lit. Wow, this is a very long trailer. I'm not going to keep playing it. Oh, because it's an official gameplay trailer. I see. It's not just like the regular trailer. But
well,
still,
so because you have options to just like chill and hang out, but there's like a storyline. Like, remember how what was that fucking? Was it Sims 3 that had like the story mode or something like that?
It was The Sims 2 that had expansion. It was like a it wasn't an expansion, but
Like
it
a
was
My
like it's
Story
yes,
something.
it was Sims 2
Yeah.
Stories. I remember I played because they had Sims 2 Stories and then they had Sims 2 Pet Stories, and I played both of them. So yeah, and
I
like
did
yeah,
as
you
well, and I
complete.
wasn't a fan.
I was not. It's funny. I remember looking back, being like, "This is weird." I think I did enjoy half. I think I like enjoyed it, but then it's like when you finish this, you can finish the story pretty quickly, and then you just like have the Sims, and you're like, "Okay, I could keep doing these things," but then I don't know. There's something. There's just something special
So
about
that's
making your own
kind of how the
character.
Star Wars one is, though.
Oh, dope! I kind of
So the
don't mind
Star
that.
Wars one, it's like it's good, but I'm one of those people where like I mean, technically all the expansions like have something like this, right?
Right.
And like now that aspirations for Sims 4 are like a little different, they're all kind of like that. Um but this is one where like if you space it out, like if you don't I play through very quickly. I did the same thing with like eco lifestyles where like I do the thing like
Yeah.
I want to complete the task because I just am that
And
way.
also
That's just
it's
how I play
fun.
games.
Yeah, completing the task, but also in things like this too, it is fun to like do what they want you to. Like I know that it's like sometimes you're like, fuck this doing, but it's like no, like honestly, doing what a game is trying to get you to do shows like
Well,
it's
so
cool.
my problem is that I'll sit there and I will blow through. So the way that
Yeah.
they like not I don't know if they want you to do it this way, but like so you go and you have to meet with I always play for the Empire because I'm a villain.
Love that.
Um
Slytherin all the way.
but so you you have to like meet with the first lieutenant and then like the first lieutenant gives you orders and like you move up in the ranks of the first order, right? And I'm the type of person who while it's intended that you complete a mission and then you go home back to your sim life in whatever sim neighborhood you live in and like you occasionally go back, right? Like you vacation to like the Star Wars world. No, I sit there and control click or like shift click whatever the fuck it is like fill needs for my household and I will spend 3 straight fucking days just completing all and you know what I mean, like I blow through it in that regard because I'm
Yep.
impatient and like that's not how they intend for you to play,
It's
but
like the
like I
people.
just like the satisfaction of completing the shit.
Yeah, it's like the people who played Animal Crossing on Switch in the beginning of quarantine and time traveled forward a bunch. Which
I never played Animal Crossing.
yeah, basically
Even on the DS I never
cheated
played.
cheated to move the game forward, and not cheated in a, again, it's like the Sims, it's not cheating in that you're doing something bad or in wrong. Like the game,
Right.
the cheats are literally built into the game. Like we exactly. But no, Animal Crossing, it's designed to play day by day. Like when you're playing the game, it says in the bottom corner your calendar, and it is the same day and the same time as whatever your Switch is set at. So that being
Okay.
said, you can go into your Switch settings when the game is closed and change the day to anything. And so essentially, so like on Animal Crossing, it'll be like, oh great, I'm building you your house, it'll be available tomorrow. And so in the beginning of quarantine, like this
Yeah.
game being released, this game is so funny, it was released at the most perfect time, being literally March, the first weekend of quarantine. But it's also made it to where the gameplay of Animal Crossing was like absurd, and people were just like moving their Switch forward a day, like what, literally, instead of, it's like this
No, that used to
equivalent of
be
the
a
fill
glitch in
needs.
something else.
Yes, I
There
think.
used to be a glitch in another game where like people would go and they would change their time zone or like something on their phone. And
Yeah.
I think it was I think there was an article written about do you remember when Kim Kardashian came out with a video game for the phone? So
Do
people were
I?
doing that. Did you play it? Tell me you played
I
it.
literally, of course I played it, come on.
How was it?
Oh my
What
god,
was it?
it was so much fun. You are Jess, you should download
Tell me
it.
about it.
You should download it and play
I
it.
don't want to I don't know if I want to do that. I'm scared.
It's amazing. It's so much fun. Honestly, I bet it's probably so lit right now. I wonder if it even still exists. Googling it, not even Googling it, going to the App Store.
But
So
I remember when like that first came out, there was
yes,
a whole
but you
thing about
could
because it's one of those
change.
same
It is the
games where like
same.
the
You have to
time,
wait.
like the yeah, that you have to like wait for your energy to refill or
Well, no, it
something
was
like
like
every other game like
you
that.
would have to wait for fuck. Oh my god, it has been. I mean, shit, that thing came out in
A long time ago.
Like
I think it came out when I was in
I
culinary
was gonna
school,
say
so like 2013 or
2013 or
14.
14 sounds right because it was
Yeah.
like the mid to end of me being a Mizzou and all my friends we were all just like playing it quote unquote ironically, but also not
Like, I don't,
ironically.
not ironically. You want to
It's
say it's ironically
no,
because,
but
yeah, I get it.
essentially what you're doing, yeah, Kim Kardashian Hollywood. Yes, bitch. See, re-download.
It's still there?
Little thing.
Oh my God. Re-download because you had it. Ah,
Because I had it. Yeah, wow, it's 5-star. Oh my God, of course Kendall and Kylie have one too. Just for them. But so no, so what you are essentially is you are like you are a friend of Kim's and but she essentially you are becoming famous and so you're I mean fuck wait did you play the famous expansion for Sims 4? Do you have that one?
yeah,
Okay,
of course I
yeah,
do.
yeah, that one, love it. It's similar, just like that, where you have to
I think I have them all.
raise your level. I have most of the main ones, like the big ones, the stuff and like special things are
I don't fuck
I'm a
that.
little left on. I mean, sometimes I'll
I
get
have a
them.
some of those.
Yeah, half and half because some of them I'm like, need, and then
I
some of them I'm
love,
like, nah, it's fine.
have you ever done, what is it? I can't remember if it's,
I love all the outdoor and the garden things.
I
and all
can't
the-
remember if it was Vintage Glamour or Luxury Party, which is like not a stuff pack, but or not like a small
luxury.
one.
No, yeah.
But there's one of the two, and I can't remember which one because I have them both. But one of the two, you can hire a butler. You can have
Yeah.
a butler come in, and I used to do that. I used to make that sim. Like if I wanted to. Okay, here's a question for you about
Wait,
Sims.
because you can have a butler on Sims 4 again, I think. You've been able to have it on Sims 2. Sims 3.
I don't know.
One of
I
the
haven't played
Sims
Sims 2 or 3.
iterations. Sims 1, the original Sims for sure, you were able to have a butler. But I think they brought it back.
Because I know you could like hire. So my understanding was like you could hire a maid, and the maid would just like come in and clean your house.
Yes.
But the butler, you like provide a bed for them, and it's basically an NPC that lives in your house and just does the fucking chores for you.
Wait, yes. Yeah.
And yeah, I thought that came with an expansion pack. Maybe I'm wrong.
It does. I think it comes with the Fame one, I think.
I thought it
like-
came with like luxury part or like no, maybe it was Vintage
Butler. I'm
Glamour
just gonna
because
Google it. Butler Sims 4.
yeah, please do. But so okay, while you're googling that, the question that I have for you,
Yeah,
in
you're
relation
right.
to
Vintage
Sims
Glamour
is
stuff.
oh, it is Vintage Glamour.
Yeah,
Okay,
it's a
so
butler NPC.
one of my favorite features.
Oh, so the original The Sims Superstar had the butler, The Sims 2 Apartment Life, The Sims 3 Late Night, and then The Sims 4 Vintage Glamour stuff. Wow.
Okay.
The Sims is
okay.
I'm gonna go ahead and shout out to The Sims for this moment of just being able to continually redo their stuff.
Recycle their old
Literally,
shit. Yeah.
it's brilliant because I will keep doing it. I will keep playing it. I was trying so hard. I think we briefly talked about this at one point. I was trying so hard to play the Sims 4 University one. And then the whole legacy thing had to happen with my computer. Oh my God, it just ended up being a mess. But
I
yeah.
don't like University because it takes
Sims
too long.
2 University. But yeah, you're right. It does take too long.
If you enter college in Sims 4, if you enter college as a young adult and you're playing with the normal lifespan, you graduate college and then you become an adult. When like in my mind, you should still be like the timeline is basically not you don't become an adult because you graduate, but like the timeline that it takes you to complete 4 semesters at 12 credit, whatever the fuck the requirement is, like the length of time that it takes you to complete college in the game is the entirety of like your normal lifespan young adult age. And I don't like that. I think that that's kind of like
I think that the way that The Sims 2 did university aging was the most brilliant part. Was that you were a teenager?
It was a separate thing.
Yeah, you were a teenager and you went to college as a young adult, but the young adult age didn't exist prior. Whereas Sims 4 has the young adult
you just can't even
and
enroll.
adult difference, but you can't enroll until you're a young adult in Sims 4.
Yeah.
Okay,
so you can
enroll as a young adult.
apply for scholarships as a teen.
Right.
But you cannot physically enroll because the way that I remember it being in Sims 2 is that like you had
enroll
to
as a
send
teen.
them.
Yeah, you have to.
You
send
had
them
to send them to college as a teen, and then when they get to college, it's like a whole separate thing. And then when they graduate college, they become that version of a young adult, whatever it was.
No,
because there was 2. I remember there being wasn't there not
on
the
Sims,
3?
No, on the original Sims, it's adult and elder. That's it. Those are the only 2
Okay.
adult.
So then maybe
It's
that's what I'm thinking.
because it would
Because
be teen
yeah,
straight to it because they if you skip college, the teen age is straight to an adult. Young adult was
yeah.
brought in, I'm pretty sure, in Sims 3 that it was the
I've never played Sims 3.
oh wow, I played Sims 3, but
Never.
well, again, said it before. The only thing that was really good about Sims 3 was the full open world concept. Like, you could literally say, go here to your sim. You could scroll across halfway of the neighborhood and that fucking sim would walk there. Like, it really cool. Loved that idea. Loved the neighbor. You could see people walking and neighbors would walk in and around. Like,
I miss cars.
oh, yeah, I forget that Sims 4 doesn't have cars
I miss
yet.
cars.
Yeah, because having to transport all the time is annoying.
Wait, okay, real fast before we move on.
Yeah.
Look at my necklaces.
Oh, yes. Astrology. I've got my little arrow on too.
But so I was gonna ask you in relation to Sims, because this is something that I'm always curious about, is like how people who play. When you make Sims, do you make Sims based off of people you know in real life?
Sometimes yes and sometimes no.
Okay,
So,
I exclusively do not.
oh, interesting.
I never make people that I know in real life because it makes me actually feel uncomfortable.
Well,
Like I know I don't have their permission to be doing that, so it like makes me feel weird.
yeah,
I don't know what
I feel like that's literally your Leo.
ultra consent.
That's your Leo Mercury versus my Scorpio Mercury, where I'm like, no, I will make people that I know in my within my Sims, but I don't actually do it very often. And the most often that I would do it is I would make myself and whoever I was dating, because I'm such a fucking Pisces moon ass bitch who's just like, let me fantasize what it would be like if we had kids. I actually was very proud of my Sim of one of my exes. They read one of my anyway, my won't name names. We're not gonna embarrass me that hard. No, but yeah, one of my exes, and I'm more recent, but yeah, I was very proud of how identical I made him. It was great.
Well, I'm not good at that to begin with. I've seen pictures of people who like make themselves into Sims and it looks amazing, and like I couldn't do that if I wanted to.
I could get pretty close. I tried very.
I don't have the attention span. I can't sit there. But I exclusively. So I'm really big. Please try. Please try. I would love that. So the way that I play is I do a whole lot of random shit. Like when I'm like creating a sim, I randomize basically everything. And then I just play with that. Like I very rarely I never make people that I know, and I very rarely like create sims intentionally anyway. If that makes sense.
No, yeah.
But like there's something about like a weird, like you were saying, like you like to whatever. I can't even like I don't know. Like if I don't know. I just have a really weird thing. Because it seems like I'm like doing so. I know that this is dramatic, but I feel like I'm like doing something without their consent, and it makes me feel really,
what's funny
really weird.
is that it immediately makes you actually feel like you are like in a simulation. So yes, I have done, but most of the time I don't. I most commonly I play The Sims. I play Legacy style almost always.
That's how I like to do it. I like challenges.
Yeah, I do too. And I played a lot more of the challenges when I was young. Like with specifically, I mean, God, there will never be a time more simple to me in my life than when I would just come home from school in early high school and I would just immediately sit down at my or at my computer in my bedroom, because my mom was so annoyed, be like, we had a computer for a while in like the kitchen desky type space, like classic 2000s, but then I remember my mom just giving my brother and I one because she realized like, oh, you guys are just like on this all the time. And also and it wasn't on this all the time and I hate it. It was on this all the time and wow, you're smarter than me with this and I'm impressed. And also I think, yeah, really though. But what she didn't realize is that, yeah, all I would do is just aim messaging and Sims over and over forever. And so yeah, so much Sims. And it was always beautiful. Sims 2, those days. And I've never, what's really funny, in all of my years of decades of playing Sims, I have still to this day never finished a legacy challenge. I've never made it all.
Never
made it all 10.
I've never in my life.
think the closest I have gotten is maybe 6 or 7, but then
Well, so
sometimes I'm
I
just
think
like,
I've gotten
because
maybe to 5.
the problem is that I think what I do, I get a little too attached to my Sims, and
Okay.
I don't really let them die, except for when they're old. But you know what I mean? There have definitely been times that my Sim has accidentally died, and I have rage quit and brought them back to life by saving, or had someone try to. Recently, I did do this the proper way in my most recent legacy that I had been playing. One of my Sims died. She was pregnant. Dumb bitch. She was pregnant with like 2 cooking skill, and she went to go cook some fucking spaghetti. You know how it goes. And then poof, flames, and she was dumb. And look, my fault for poorly designing their kitchen space in their small house, because she got kind of like
Sure.
stuck in there because one of the other kids was like, oh
You
no, oh no,
know?
and she couldn't come out. So there she went. She was down. She was down and out, down for the count. I had her husband beg the Grim Reaper for her back instead of rage quitting. But I did
There you
let her
go.
come back because,
Okay.
again, I'm attached. I usually let them die of old age. However, I feel like if I get like 6 or 7 generations down a legacy challenge, I should just fucking let some die. Like, let's just throw
So
in something fun, huh? Some drama.
this is interesting to me. And this is interesting because I have the opposite problem. I have never completed a legacy challenge
You
because
kill
I
them.
never get attached to my Sims. I don't necessarily kill them, but like I don't get attached to them.
Yeah,
I've
you're
never
like, I'm
been
bored.
attached to a Sim family, literally. And I'll sit there and I'll be like, okay, so I'm supposed to do this for 10 more generations. Like I will only ever play a legacy challenge if like my lifespan is on super short or something, because I just don't. I'm like
Burn through
patiently
it.
waiting for them to have the next kid so that I can move on. Like I like try to rush through it.
Yeah.
And that's like not the point of the game. So it's weird because like I seemingly love Sims. I play it a lot, but I clearly don't really love it that much if I never let myself get like fully into it.
It's like a weird thing where like The Sims and people who play it have so many different, like there's always a different thing about The Sims that people love the most, be it building a house, getting Sims top to careers, and like getting them full of like kind of, because that feels like it's like a goal where you're like, oh, I can fill
Yeah.
up that whole skill thing, I can get all these badges, I can go to these careers, or like, yeah, you're like, I want them to have babies, like I love that part. Or just the people that I just want to create Sims, I just want to design people, and then I'm done designing them and I'm over it. Like, so who are you?
I want to so I'm going to tell you this and I want you to tell me if you are surprised or not.
Okay.
Right? So the issue that I run into when I play The Sims is I'll sit there and like let's say I'm doing a legacy challenge. I've tried the 100 baby challenge one time.
Wait.
Couldn't fucking do it.
I'm sorry. 100 baby? So not
So,
from a single Sim?
from a single Sim. So, you can only have 8 on the lot at one time, right? That's like
Right.
the number. So,
To just keep
the
aging her
stipulations
down?
that go no, so you have to have 100 babies with 100 different partners. But the goal is to age up the babies as quickly as possible to make room in your house for more babies. But you can't like age up a toddler until they've reached at least 4 in like all of the, or like whatever the specifications are. But like you have to, you can't age up a child until they have at least 2 skills maxed or at least 4 things in every skill and they're an A student, and like then you can age them up to become a teenager, and then there's something they have.
Oh,
So that's the challenge of it
you
all.
cheat to age them up at any point.
But you shouldn't cheat.
But you're
You
not
should
cheating.
be,
Oh.
because you can do it with a birthday cake, right?
Oh,
You
that's
just have to have them blow out the candles. But so basically you can't age them up until they complete whatever it is, and I can't remember what it is because like I said,
but
I've only
any
done
kind
it
of
once.
specification.
Yeah, whatever the specification is. And then once they're a young and adult, you move them out of the house, and that's how you create space for more babies. Because when you think about it, you can have babies from young adulthood into, as soon as you
Oh,
hit
and I
elder, you
forget.
can't
Yeah,
have
in
babies
Sims
anymore.
4, there's a lot longer. I'm stuck on my Sims. I haven't played Sims 4 in a while, so I'm stuck in my Sims 2 brain of
Yeah.
like, there's only there's only like 30 days that I could use as an adult.
Yeah, so I've tried that challenge once, and like I usually do the legacy challenges, but my issue that I run into is that I spend so much time trying to like build my sim into a skilled person, or like I really want your like handiness all the way up and I want you up, that I like forget to make them socialize. I like forget my sims are basically almost all recluses because they need to fucking learn how to cook and learn the herbalism skill and like have these crazy gardens. Like that's what I focus on, and I never focus on their interpersonal relationships. So then when it comes time, I'm like, oh, fuck, like my sim's going to be an elder in like 5 days, which means they have to get pregnant like right now if I want to continue. Oh. But they don't fucking know anybody.
Yeah, that's so funny. Yeah, I had that problem a lot too.
Because they're just at home reading and working out, which, I mean...
Jess, you're like... I'm calling myself out here. Wow. We have had such random conversations today, and I'm loving it. This is the true look into Gemini risings, honestly. No, but for real, yeah. Back to Gemini risings, talking about whatever the fuck we want. And yeah, because if anyone didn't know, Gemini risings, really any Mercury rising, so Gemini or Virgo risings, they are ruled by Mercury. We have lots of interests because Mercury people have their brain goes all over the place, and we need things to keep us busy and interested and not bored. That's the biggest key. Geminis, especially Gemini risings, we're like, I'm sorry, bored, next, bored. What's next?
And that's my issue with The Sims.
Yes. Circling back. 100%.
You know, because I like to make them like, I love doing celebrity Sims, but then like once you're a celebrity, it like carries through your family tree. Like if your parent is like a proper celebrity or a global superstar, like whatever it is,
you're born with like one or two stars or something already. Yeah. It's so funny how that, but also like
it's true.
Makes sense.
It's true.
Yeah. No,
another way that The Sims is just like real life. Yeah. Nepotism is real.
Honestly, I had fun with the celebrity one when it first came out because I loved the both the Sims 1 and the Sims 2 iterations of it as well.
We spent an hour and a half talking about nothing, guys.
Food. Well, there was some astrology in there. Your Taurus cousin.
There's a touch of Taurus stuff, yeah.
Tauruses are picky. Geminis. What else? Why did we even bring up Taurus? Oh, it's because I was trying to bring up how you love hospitality, and Cancer placements love to feed people. Yeah. Because they're the mom, and they're like want to make sure everybody's nurtured and cozy and healthy and happy, and literally they're like the idea of the grandma being like, no, here, more on your plate. Here, no, I'm sorry, no, you put more. That's like peak Cancer energy. So yeah, but Taurus they eat, Cancer they feed. Anyway, but yeah, I love being able to talk about all of that stuff. Like astrology and food is so fun. We'll do a whole episode on that. That's like my future book. Tee. Anyway,
I love that.
In the future, I'm shooting for 2022. If I could, okay. I just have to meet. All I need is to meet somebody who could either put me in touch with like some kind of agent, because I feel like no matter what, the book would sell or like whatever. Like I would get like an advance. Like I could imagine that would happen. Yeah. Because I already know something anyway. So we're on it. But anyway. So, Jess.
Is this where you want to cut it for the day?
I don't know. Do we want to cut it for the day? Wait, should we end with one Bachelor thing?
Because let's end with the Bachelor thing.
So my one Bachelor thing that we should talk about is Katie's horrible ass promo. They're doing her so dirty, and I feel bad because I like Katie. I think she's fine. I think her season will probably be enjoyable. I think she'll be a good Bachelorette.
I don't understand what they thought they were doing with that. What are they doing?
I understand. The one thing I understand is the nod to the purple vibrator. That's funny to me. I like a little color coordination. I didn't even hate.
Is that what it is?
I think so. At least that's what everyone's kind of putting two and two together. Is like that's why would they make her? It's like she's in the first one with her like that very like latexy skirt, that purple latexy skirt, which was backwards. Was the first one being like, is that the vibrator mention? And then in the next promo, she's in her little nice dress, and it's also purple. It's a similar, basically a very close color as to what the light was. Remember in her intro, she's like, "It lights up. See, I brought the party. Haha." Yeah. So they are doing her dirty, but what they the fucking the promo, just including her yelling at other women in her promo, like, what the fuck?
I really what
Be
okay,
a
okay. So this
Katie.
will be I was
Be
gonna say, here's
a
what I
Katie.
will
Wait,
say that our bachelor thing could be. What do you think that means? What the fuck does be a Katie mean?
I think in their minds, they are
In their
probably
minds, is
trying to
crucial.
be like, be a Katie, be anti-bullying, which is their, like, they love that thing. But all I do know is that we obviously need to make shirts that say "Be a Jess" and "Be a Shannon" for our premiere. I'm just saying, it would not be hard. We have plenty of time. We have like over a month.
I mean, listen.
I feel like I spoke that and I already saw you in the brain just being like, I'm going to figure out how to make that.
Yes, sure. Because like I've said, and I said it on the super fun newlywed game for Average Bear that's gonna come out tomorrow.
Oh my god,
Like
I'm so excited.
I'm a person that if you need something from me, I will make sure it happens. I will get that done. No questions asked. No doubt about it. No doubt in my mind that when it comes time for premiere, I will own that shirt. I will have created that shirt. I know that that's the truth. I know that that's the case.
Look.
However, I'm sitting here and I'm thinking to myself, like, if I'm going to have a shirt that says "Be a Jess" on it, I think that I first need to understand what that means, and I kind of don't. Like,
Yeah, I think
I don't know, like, what qualities anyone would want to emulate of mine. Like, I don't know what "Be a Jess" would mean in a positive light.
Would be a technical superstar, both in the kitchen and in the audio editing, both on the YouTubes and in the restaurant. Like the technicality. You are
Pay too much attention to the details until it actually drives you insane.
Meanwhile,
That's
Bea
being a
Shannon
Jess.
is just be stoned.
I don't think I've ever laughed like that in my life. I don't think I've ever made that sound before in my entire. I don't think I've ever made that noise before.
That's how you be a Shannon. What a vibe. But yeah, that's basically that's how you be me. So anyway, I'm just ready for that premiere. I am also ready because I don't know about you, but I'm trying to like have people over. Everybody that I would have over that watches The Bachelor is vaccinated. So fuck it. Let's do it. But either way,
I'm down.
because yeah, we usually record on Tuesdays anyway, so we don't have to worry about being all up in Monday or drinking or smoking or
I also don't work on Mondays.
Yeah. I can't wait until it's gonna be good. It's gonna be crazy because we're gonna have Katie, then we're gonna have Bachelor in Paradise, then we're gonna have Michelle, then we're gonna have the next Bachelor. It's just never going to end. But that's okay. Anyway, yeah, I feel bad for Katie. She also, the many an earth sign. She is struggling with the like flirting with the camera acting, like in her actual like the one moment where she's like she pulls a petal off the rose and like tosses it. It's like not fluid. Like it looks like this. She's like, just like a quick imagine if you were tossing something quick instead of a like, oh, I'm tossing my like gentle like throwing of my petals. No, it's just like, and then but she's looking over her shoulder. She's like just once, and it's just odd, very odd. And
I don't think that I understand that she's quite popular on TikTok and like she is charismatic and she has a good personality and like she can be entertaining, Do I think that she has the personality to carry an entire season? I don't.
We'll have to see, because a
I
lot of
don't.
people thought that about Hannah Brown too. I mean, not the personality, but people thought, they were like, why would Hannah Brown on a season? Like, what do you mean? And nobody expected that one. So I'm sensing they maybe are trying to go with a similar vibe of like, oh, let's pick this like quirky outspoken
Well,
girl
I
or
don't mean
something.
like bad personality in that sense. I just mean like I think there's a huge
I mean,
difference
she's so
between
earthy. Like,
perfect example.
mm.
Perfect example. Did you watch my Chopped episode?
I saw your part. I remember watching the first part of it.
Right. So my like talking head interviews in the Chopped episode, I honestly to God, you would think that I was like sedated. Like I was like, like I had no energy whatsoever. And when we do this podcast and I'm significantly more animated, I'm more energetic, I'm more
Yeah.
charismatic in this type of scenario. And I think that Katie, because I understand what you're saying about like the stiffness of it all. You know what I mean? So I think that
Yeah.
she's like
I think it's
similar to me in a sense where like she's more comfortable when she's making her
yeah.
own
Right.
content
And
and
you
she feels more
can,
comfortable when she makes her own content versus when she's being told what to
and
do.
it's one thing to being filmed and being able to like watch yourself in the selfie video,
Yes.
in a video on TikTok, even if you're far away from the camera, you know, it's one thing to be able to see, but yeah, when you're being filmed and you don't have the control of seeing what's on the other
And you're being
side.
directed as well though. It's
Yeah.
like a producer is sitting there and we know how B-roll works. We know that
Yeah.
there's a producer like, you know what you should do? You know it'd be really fun if you just like
Go
looked over your shoulder and like picked a pedal. And
go
she's
like
like,
sit on the
"Okay."
balcony. Yeah. Yeah.
You know, so you're like doing what people tell you, but it doesn't always feel right. Like that's the vibe that I get from Katie, where like she definitely seems to be more in her element when she's in the driver's seat. And like, although
Yes.
she's the bachelorette and in theory in the
Yeah,
driver's seat,
right. No,
we know
she's
that
being a
she's not.
pawn. But I'm going to be fascinated. And this is actually what makes me extra excited for Katie's season, unrelated to Katie
I'm
herself.
listening.
But the fact that we have her confirmed birth chart, and like I can actually talk about every bit of her chart, like house placements and this and this and that. Like, and
Yeah.
Katie being like so earth sign, but with a Libra rising, is like the earth sign is in her. All that earthy shit, Capricorn, Taurus, Virgo, she has something of everything. Is so much like, I want to do my thing. I'm doing it my way or the highway. Like this is it. But the Libra is the like people pleaser part of her. It's the like the part of her that's going to make her a quote unquote good bachelorette to the producers, because she's probably going to want to do what the producers generally want her to do, unless it's like fucking awful.
Right.
But so she's probably going to try to go with the flow and be nice. So we'll see. I'm no matter what, I'm intrigued. And always, I mean, shit, Matt James and also Tasha were like the last two leads that I was like actively excited for, like being like, I can't wait to see them. Like, I want to see what happens. Even though
Mm-hmm.
Matt James, I had my judgments on him, I was still like actively looking forward to watching his season.
Right.
But I didn't think that when I watched Colton's season, Ari's season, when I watched even Becca Kufrin's season, I was down whenever she started. I was like hyped for her because again, I watched Ari stomp all over her. And so it's like these differences of like being into it, but I would just be like, I'm gonna watch anyway. And then by the end, I'm always like, wow, that was interesting. I'm da-da-da-da-da. But so I don't know. I'm excited. But yeah, soon we need to Instagram stalk. It'll be here before we know it. We're almost into May.
It really will.
We're almost to May.
It will.
But anyway.
When does it start? When is
June 7th.
Okay. So May will be our research month.
Yes. And as
I
everybody
think
starts,
we do it in small doses.
yeah, and as everybody starts unprivating their Instagrams and things like that, because I'm sure some
Well, that's what I'm
people
thinking.
are gonna be able to unprivate soon. But there's also like a kind of a pre-show day where everyone just can, like, if they want to, unprivate. But then people like, I remember whenever we were looking at Matt's Women and it was Bree Springs had a private Instagram up to the day of the premiere.
Yes,
which
I
now
recall.
makes sense because she has a 12th house stellium, and those 12th housers like
And
to
also,
hide.
on top of that, like her exit, like I think that she was over it
Oh yeah.
before airing even started.
Before
And she was like, honestly, fuck you
I
guys.
agree. I totally agree. Same with the mom's reaction of, can we burn that bunny now?
Loved it.
Woo!
Loved it.
Fiery. But yeah, I'm
Always
excited.
Bree's mom for MVP for forever.
Always. She's
Eternal
so,
MVP of The Bachelor.
So MILF too. So pretty. No wonder Bree was just like a literal fucking stunning person. But wow, yeah, so there we go, Bachelor. Katie's promo. It's sad. Go watch it if you haven't. It's silly. But
That is silly.
I actually didn't even hate, I don't hate the dress, the purple dress. The skirt backwards was one thing. I also didn't like hate it, but I didn't love it. But this dress, I like the dress, and I think it's cute. The problem is it doesn't fit her coloring. Like she's an earth sign, and putting her in lilac purple isn't really doesn't really fit. The fact that like
Really? Does that correlate,
well,
do you think?
oh my god, absolutely. So
I
think
don't
about
know.
this. Okay, real quick. So I actually posted on the story for today. So it'll probably still be available by the time, if you're listening to this tomorrow, it'll still be on there. But for you to go look, I posted a reel, and it was Hannah Brown's. It was from reality as in TEA, that Instagram handle.
Mhm.
But it was Hannah Brown's promo with Tasha's promo, and then right after that with Katie's promo, all boom boom boom. And it was to the TikTok sound, the classic one where it's like it starts with do you remember by or September, it starts with September by Earth, Wind and Fire, but it's like, do you remember, da-da-da-da. But it's not singing, it's like the audio, but then it stops, and then it's like halfway through it goes, it's like on a recorder, and it's like silly. So that part is Katie's promo, because Hannah Brown's and Tasha's promos were so high budget compared to what we're looking at with Katie. And but so back to colors, does it correlate? Hannah Brown
Yeah.
was in a very Cinderella-esque light blue outfit in her promo, and she's mimicking Cinderella. That promo to this day is still, in my opinion, one of the most iconic, like awesome promos. Like I saw that promo and I was like,
It's like all CG.
it's amazing.
And when you think about, like, there was that whole thing about Game of Thrones, how like Game of Thrones couldn't have like their ideal last season because CG is so expensive.
Yep.
That really kind of like lifted the veil for the average viewer who might not know how expensive it is to do CG stuff. And Hannah Brown's entire fucking promo was CG.
Gorgeous. She's walking
The whole
through this
thing.
little green, the green foresty thing, and she's all glittery. It's like insane. But she's mimicking Cinderella, and she's a fucking Libra. And of all signs, that would be the princess stereotype, is absolutely a Libra. And also that baby blue, honestly, the baby blue is definitely more of a Cancer color, but it fit Hannah more. Also, she's blonde hair, blue eyed, so hard to not put blue on her and it'd be fine. But then Tasha is a Virgo, and if you remember, her dress and her promo was all of the quote unquote, it was like fake news articles of all of her, like, oh, the rumors is the second bachelorette, oh my god. And she's a Virgo ruled by Mercury, and Mercury is definitely rules things like journalism and writing and all that stuff. So it's sad to me that Katie has this purple thing trying to mimic her vibrator, which was funny and but the vibrator was her intro and was her Sag Mercury. It was like her Sagittarius Mercury being like, I'm fucking funny, I'm blunt, I'm bold, I don't care, and I'm making Matt crack up. Like, that is peak Sag to Sag energy. You're making him lose his mind laughing at this thing, which is what you want to do to woo any Sagittarius, get them laughing their ass off at anything you say, and you've basically got them. But earth signs should definitely be in literally earthy tones. And even if not earthy tones, just something a little more subdued. So like that purple was just so feminine, and I don't know, it just didn't to me, it didn't fit Katie. It just didn't. I guess she was in that color dress when she entered Her intro dress too. Yeah, when she walked on, she was wearing the glittery, sparkly, purpley thing. I don't know. I just feel like she would have looked so good in an emerald green. Mm. Anyway, that being said,
Okay.
think about how your crystals. Remember when you got your birth chart crystals for your bracelets and stuff? Think about that. It's very similar, like orange and yellow, great for Leo because it's the sun. Moon colors for Cancer, so blues, whites, grays,
See,
pale.
it's interesting though because I don't think that I look good in those colors.
I think you would look. I think you look very good in red, but also technically red is a
I
Mars
see. I don't
color.
feel that way.
Those pictures of you in your the Chicago Blackhawks sweater, and you're in that. I think you look great in red.
I think that it helps when I have dark hair for sure.
Yeah,
Because
probably.
I was blonde primarily for a really long time, and when I would be blonde wearing red, I hated how I looked in like reds, yellows, oranges. Hated it.
I bet you there's something, but that is, but that is definitely the color they all. Because really, there's a color for each planet. So if you put signs to planets, like Sun is yellow,
Okay.
orange, Saturn is black, Mars is red.
Oh, I can't stop yawning. I don't know what's going on. I feel like I'm on fucking Zoloft again. Fuck.
Be like that. But it's also just to signal to go.
I remember when I would take anxiety medication. One of my like least favorite side effects is that it made me yawn compulsively all day long. I would just
and
be
then
yawning,
people are
and
like
it was the
thinking that you're
worst.
tired, and you're like, I mean, I might be like kind of tired, but it's just
I literally can't help it. Like it's
well.
Anyway.
Yeah. Anyway. Thanks everybody
This
for
is
listening.
fun.
Yeah. Thanks for listening to us just gab. You know, we love to talk, and honestly, hopefully any of this was entertaining, and if not, whatever. We'll talk about The Bachelor again soon, and I mean, we did talk about The Bachelorette. I guess we should say The Bachelorette because that's happening soon. So we'll talk about The Bachelorette soon. Yeah, and also I definitely think we need to recap a Bachelor in Paradise season. We need to pick one. Maybe we'll have our followers. Maybe I'll like put a question on the story and be like, "What BIP season, which that is available on streaming, should we watch and recap?"
Go see what's available on Hulu.
Because it's definitely,
and then put like BIP and then put the numbers that are available so they like have the numbers to pick through right there.
Yeah,
I think
good idea.
Also, listeners,
oh my god,
just a really quick plug. If you're watching this on YouTube, then as soon as you're finished watching this, you should go ahead and check out the Average Bear Podcast YouTube, because on the same day that this video is released, there will be another video released in which Shannon and her co-host on her new podcast, which you should also check out, are going to be playing the newlywed game, Astrology Edition, with me. And it's fucking awesome.
It's so fun. And it was so fun to be able to like to play it, to talk about. And if you're ever wondering, what a chart twin is, this is a great episode to look at and listen to, because we talk all about what it means to be a chart twin, not an actual twin. However, technically, if you are a twin, you do have a chart twin. So it does kind of apply, but slightly different because we're a different day and different degrees, which wouldn't be able to happen with actual twins. But but there are some similarities. But we'll talk all about what that means when you find someone with the same chart as you and how we are different. But then we also talk about our new podcast, my podcast with her, which is called Twin Fire Signs, which we've talked about here briefly. But Taylor fucking Swift, I love her, I hate her. The world loves her, the world hates her. And we are going to talk about her and astrology. So go listen to us over there. And we release episodes every Thursday. Tomorrow's the day that you're listening to this is Wednesday. But tomorrow, the Thursday, there will be a new episode. And you can still go. We've released 3 already. So go listen and catch up.
Yep. We love to. I love this. I love that we're both just like plugging our other projects.
I love how, I mean, that's, again, Gemini risings. We are just always like, okay, I got one hand here, got one hand here, got my foot over here, got the other foot over here. And then I've got like my hair, got my hair on this end. We love multiple outlets of expression.
Of course. And as always, follow us on all of the socials and the things. All of the links will be down below or in the show notes, depending on where you are viewing this or listening to this.
And hey, give us a rate.
And yeah, rate, review, like, subscribe. give us feedback. We want the feedback.
Literally, if you want us
please
to talk
provide.
about something like desperately, I will try
Tell
my
us.
best to talk about it, as long as I've seen the season. Like if I can actively see the season. There's oh god, I really do want to watch all of them. Unfortunately I now own Peter's season because I was watching it with a friend of mine. I was watching it with my friend because I was trying to get them into Game of Roses, and so that's where they start with Game of Roses. And so I was like, oh no, they start with Hannah Brown, I guess technically, but I forgot though how insane some of those women are. But yeah, and I also own Colton's premiere, which god, because I had to watch it. Anyway, that being said, I want now to maybe I will just own more slowly but surely to start buying old Bachelor seasons, since they don't seem to want to put them anywhere on a comprehensive streaming service.
Seriously, I don't get it.
Why?
But
Why?
whatever floats your boat.
I feel like it would be easy money. I don't know what streaming stuff does, but whatever. Anyway, follow us. We love y'all. Thanks for listening. Bye.
See you next week.